Good evening and welcome to my end of the week recap here for the S&P 500 and plan ahead for the coming week. A few more big name earnings coming out next week, so that could have an impact on how the S&P moves. Whether it's bullish or bearish, only time will tell. A couple of notes that I've now put here on my chart, triggered into the 15 June 280 calls here at 49 on Wednesday. Thursday added into that. Per my previous plan, I can pull up 30-minute here. I was looking at this area for consolidation simply because the 8 and 21 EMAs were right around that region. As you can see, came right up to it, tried to reject it, but on lower volume, rebounded right back up through it and pushed through it. So once it did push back up through it, I went ahead and added into that position as if I was starting a new one. Got in up here at 76. My average is now 0.625, and I will be looking at possibly maybe adding if it does break above this 267 level with some significant strength if I'm available to catch that move. Onto my trade plan here on my notes. Again, adding above 267, and I will again watch the next level up, this 268.5 level, for some consolidation. If it chops here, breaks higher, may even add into it again for another move up to over 270. As I stated in my previous video, I will consider selling some of this position off here if it does reject off the 50 SMA, which is this red line. Ideally, I want to see a 270 test and maybe even a test up here of this upper end of the pattern here. I want to zoom out here on the hourly time frame and illustrate how to identify whether or not a significant level is holding true support or not. Just real quick, I'm going to go over. You can see here on the daily time frame where the volume came in on a lot of these days. I'll get to these arrows momentarily, but you can see first spike in volume was this initial touch on the 200 SMA. Next spike in volume right here, again, touch in the area of the 200 SMA, and then a group of higher volume candles here as it came down to the 200 SMA again. Another spike of volume as it broke above and reclaimed it, and then the next time when it came down and tested the 200 SMA. Now, I know that I've said in my previous video that price action did put in a lower high, and I've mentioned that in the trade crew chat room numerous times, but when I see volume maintaining at a significant level, for my purposes anyways, for the lines that I use on my chart, I'm going to go ahead and assume that is a legit support, which is why I've taken a position, I'm adding to it, and it is out of the money, but I have plenty of time, at least I hope I have plenty of time in it to capture some profits. So that is why I was looking at those plays. Now, if you see my note down here, these 260 calls plus 2 weeks, which I completely ignored and went out of the money, I can go ahead and show what would have happened had I actually followed my plan right here. You can see right here, somebody was either watching my video or reading my mind or whatever the case may be. Maybe they had their own reasons, but someone got in here for a pretty large position right in this region. So had I noticed that and followed into that play, this has already gone from 580 up to about 850. So not a huge gain so far, but that's up well over 50%. So the contracts look to be still open. I mean, there's no other volume to really offset that. So somebody's still in that play. But anyways, going forward here and back into my trade plan and what I'm looking at and why these arrows are over here. Every one of these topping candles, whether it's this gap up, basically like almost a shooting star candle, or this inside doji right here, or this shooting star type of pattern, or this shooting star type of pattern, or even this high right here, have all had the least amount of volume. And you can go back all the way over to here, the last few topping candles as well, this one and this one have all had extremely low volume in relation to the days around it. Which leads me to believe at some point one of these quote unquote topping candles is going to fail. And when it does, it's going to cause a significant amount of bearish stops to be triggered, and we may get another leg higher. It may take some time to do that. I mean, price action could still come down and break through this 200 SMA because it is still putting in lower highs. I've drawn this new trend line here just to keep it in mind for my purposes. If price action breaks above there, at least implies that this intermediate downtrend line, or excuse me, this intermediate downtrend has been broken and is void, and we can at least expect a test up, a test up here around this trend line somewhere. So for now, Just looking at different levels of consolidation for a break above to add into my position. Any rejections, I will sell them and get out. For now, this will be my trade plan for Monday. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please feel free to leave them down below. And you're welcome to come join us at the Trade Crew chat room. I have a link down there. It is a free chat room. Have a good weekend and good luck.